Ben Levin was convicted of pedophilia today. Ben Levin was convicted of possessing child pornography, of making child pornography, of counseling others to commit pedophilia, even incest. Ben Levin is different than most pedophiles, though. He was a professor at the Ontario Institute for Studies in Education. That is, he was a teacher of teachers. He was the Deputy Miinister of Education in Ontario. In fact, he was a member of the transition team for Kathleen Wynne, the current Premier of Ontario. In 2009, this same Ben Levin, pedophile, said, and I quote from an interview he gave with the Institute for Studies in Education, that there was no area of policy that he did not have a hand in. That Ben Levin pled guilty to child pornography. Here's a picture of his lawyer, Clayton Ruby. Viewers of The Rebel will recognize Clayton Ruby. He's an activist lawyer. Last we talked about him, he was suing Trinity Western University to keep it from having status for prospective graduates of Trinity Western because of their Christian rules of conduct. That same Clayton Ruby was defending Ben Levin today. But let me tell you what Ben Levin did, because I want you to know what child pornography means. It doesn't mean just looking at a picture, it means producing pictures, it means counseling crimes. He wrote about a violent assault on a 10-year-old child. He wrote about this. He posted images of crying little girls with grown-up mascara streaming down their faces. Ben Levin actually said that he hoped his own daughters would one day share his granddaughters with him sexually. Listen to that again. This is the former Deputy Minister of Education, a man with a hand in education policy, including sex ed, a man who was on the transition team of Kathleen Wynne, actually said he wanted to have sex with his own granddaughters, and he wanted his daughters to share his granddaughters with him sexually. He did his pornography while he was in his education business, while he was traveling to conferences about children, while he was doing work about child education policy. He was indulging his violent fantasies. He actually went on the internet to tell people he thought were moms, that were undercover police posing as moms, how to groom their own children for sex and incest. He was doing this while he had a hand in the education curricula of Canada and even other countries. Here, listen to our old friend Faith Goldie from the Sun News Network. She was there today. Listen to the questions that she was asking of Ben Levin as he left the court in disgrace.
Can you confirm that the 2008 conviction was during a time when you were in Liberal Deputy Education Minister position, sir?
No comments on anything.
How do you respond to parents who are worried that a convicted child pornographer's fingerprints are all over Ontario's sex ed curriculum, sir?
Any comments relating to the police?
Did you ever see Ontario schools as a grooming breeding ground, sir? Sir, any comment to parents who are worried that your fingerprints
We're not making any comments,
are all over Ontario's sex ed curriculum, sir? Were you serving during that 2008 conviction of child pornography possession, sir? Did you ever look at Ontario schools as a place to groom children? Sir, parents want to know. In 2009, in several memos, you took full responsibility for the contents of curriculum. Do you stand by those comments now as a convicted child pornographer, sir?
Is there anything you want to share?
Those are fair questions, aren't they? Just what role did Ben Levin have in developing the sex ed curriculum that is being foisted on Ontario schools this fall? It is a fair question, because let me remind you of just a few details of that sex ed curriculum. Take the curriculum for grade 1. Those are 6-year-old boys and girls. I know what kids that age are like. They're so funny. They don't even say words right. My favorite is library instead of library. I mean, the girls that age are busy dressing up as princesses from Disney's Frozen. Well, the sex ed curriculum being foisted on Ontario schools this fall will teach young girls to use very grown-up words, not just library, but also words like vulva. Why would you teach such a technical grown-up word to a 6-year-old kid? Why would you do that? Why would you force a grown-up word on someone of such tender years? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because it drags them into the age of sexuality. It pushes sexuality down into what ought to be the age of innocence. To tell 12 and 13-year-old kids in grade 7 and 8 to develop a personal plan that may include sexual activity, and it's up to them, that tells children of young years that they are in a position where they can decide whether or not to have sex, even though the law forbids it. How is that different, except in degree, of what Ben Levin was talking about, taking young children and turning them into sexual objects? I think we need a full disclosure of Ben Levin's role in the sex education curriculum. I think that until we have that full disclosure, and I think there's enough evidence of us to judge it as the poisoned fruit, the fruit of a poisoned tree, that we must not allow that manifesto into schools. It's not because I'm anti-sex, it's because I'm anti-sex for children. For God's sakes, let a 6-year-old be a 6-year-old. Let a 12-year-old be a 12-year-old. Don't you see the similarity between Ben Levin sexualizing children and what this curriculum does? Today, Ben Levin pled guilty, and he'll be sentenced in about a month and a half. But the real risk is what is yet to come as millions of Ontario families are subjected to ideas that Ben Levin was involved in. If you care about this, sign my petition at protectourkids.ca. Send a message to Kathleen Wynne that sex curriculum must be thrown out, parents must be consulted, and Ben Levin's ideas belong in prison, not in our schools.